Anthony, can you explain who Satoshi is and just start with that, like how it came up and like what?
Wait. Hold on. Let's start with what the fuck a Bitcoin is. I don't even know what it is.
This is it. Yeah, this is it. Right. This is the guy who made it.
So, long story short is there's something called a double spend problem. So let's talk about music. When Napster came around, right? Basically what they did is they got all the music into some sort of player, and Bert says, hey, send me the music. So I literally hit a button and I send Bert a music file. When I send Bert that music file, then Bert now can play his favorite Miley Cyrus song, and so can I. And we don't know who got the original file or who got the duplicate. All we know is that we both can play the music. That's fine in music. But if all of a sudden Bitcoin, which is digital money, you don't have the paper money now you got a digital thing. If Bert says, hey, send me those 5 Bitcoin, and I hit a button that says send, and he gets 5 Bitcoin, but I still have my 5 Bitcoin, now we don't know who's got the original, who's got the counterfeit, right? And so you got to be able to prove that when Bert says send me the money, I actually sent it to him and I didn't keep a copy for myself. And so that's what Bitcoin solved. They solved this double spend problem. And basically the way they did it is they basically used the same system Monopoly uses. So let's say the 4 of us are all playing Monopoly, right? And we put our money in front of us, and then there's the bank sitting over in the side of the game. There's no banker, right? Nobody ever plays Monopoly and goes, okay, Bill, you're not going to play the game today. You're just going to be the banker, right? No, everyone gets a seat at the table. There's 4 people playing, and there's no banker. But the reason why Monopoly works is because everybody can see. You good
all right,
there?
That's all right. You didn't miss any. You missed like half a cent. The reason why Monopoly works. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the reason why Monopoly works is because every single time a transaction happens, whether I pay Bert, Bert pays Bill, Bill pays the bank, Bert gets money from the bank, whatever, it's all transparent, right? We literally can see every single transaction. So if you ever play with like a kid and they take their money in Monopoly and they put it underneath the table, everyone immediately starts yelling cheating, right? Like something's going on, fuck this. Everyone put your money back on top of the table. So that's what Bitcoin does, is Bitcoin basically has a transparent ledger. Ledger is just a big fancy word for it literally writes the shit down. So imagine if you're playing Monopoly and every time money changes hands, somebody sat and just wrote it down on a piece of paper. Bert paid Bill $20. Bill paid the bank $20. You know, Pomp passed go, he gets $200, whatever. That's what's called a blockchain in this digital money world. And so basically a blockchain is just every 10 minutes, the computers are writing down all the transactions, and then they take them in aggregate for 10 minutes and basically say, okay, here's all the transactions for 10 minutes. And they chain it to the last 10 minutes of transactions, which changed to the last 10 minutes. And so the whole key to Bitcoin is it's digital money. Every transaction is written down, and there's no central party or third party that's needed to validate it, right? I don't need JP Morgan to say that Bert sent 5 Bitcoin to Bill. The system itself keeps track of that. And then the reason why people trust it is because it's transparent. Nobody controls it. It's transparent.
Who runs the system, and what stops it from being manipulated like any other system? Considering there's computer geniuses out there that can hack into governmental websites, what stops somebody from doing something, just even the most basic, like I'm going to give you 20 Bitcoin, but I really held on to it. Yep. Or I just counterfeited 20 Bitcoin that didn't exist. What stops someone from doing that?
So the creator of Bitcoin is an individual or a group that goes by a pseudonym, Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows who it is, right? It could be one person, could be a group of people, we don't know. But in 2008, they wrote a white paper, and they basically published it and said, this is how the system is designed. And then in 2009, January 3rd, 2009, they basically released the software. People started using it. And so literally you can go back and trace every single transaction all the way back to January 3rd, 2009 on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, the reason why that's important is, he's back. All right. The reason why that's important is because now I can actually go look at the computer code and see how Bitcoin's designed. The Federal Reserve, you can't check. Like, they tell you how it works, but we don't fucking know. Then in the traditional system, I don't know all the transactions that happened. They tell us what happened, but we don't know. In this system, you can go point at every single transaction and who sent money to who. And then the reason why it can't be changed is, one, it's transparent. So if anyone did change it, everyone would immediately know that it got changed. But also, two, is it's the strongest computing network in the world. And so this is something called Bitcoin mining, which is really important. Basically, how do you get people to run the software? Well, you pay them, just like anything. It's an economic incentive. And so the way it works is they said, all right, if you run your computers and run this software for us so that everyone in the world has Bitcoin, the system, then we will pay you a preset amount of Bitcoin for doing that. And so there's this economic incentive to run Bitcoin software. When you run that software, you're one of millions of people who control the network. But you can't make any changes by yourself. The only way a change can get made is if 51% or more of people agree to do it. So it's like coordinating literally millions of people to all agree on something. It's nearly impossible. And the only way it changes is if more than 51% agree to actually do the change.